Pablo Picasso once said that good artists borrow, great artists steal. Using that metric, that must mean that Bruno Mattei is the greatest filmmaker in the entire history of cinema, because he had the audacity to simultaneously steal from Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3, The Last Shark, and Deep Blood. What movie are we talking about? Tonight, hold on to your fins, kids, because we're going to be diving deep into Cruel Jaws, a.k.a. Jaws 5. Let's roll the trailer.
Talk rubbish, boy. This is not the place nor the time.
Alrighty, welcome back from the trailer to Cruel Jaws by Bruno Mattei.
Also called Jaws 5.
Also called Jaws 5 in some regions. Obviously, this title wouldn't fly with Universal.
I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. There's a lot of amusing technical issues, which, frankly, don't make this a good movie at all. But if you can just gloss all those aside, this is an enjoyable movie. It's fun. Predictable, but fun.
And the reason that is because if you've seen Jaws, if you've seen Jaws 2, if you've seen any shark movie, this is a generic, by-the-numbers, bog-standard, there's a giant shark eating people, and nobody believes me, and I'm the sheriff, and, fuck you, town, because fuck you. This thing is dull. It's 90% footage from other movies. It's inept. It's generally not a good movie. So I'm going to go with the opposite of thumbs down for this thing.
I think it's worth your time if you like movies within this particular genre. If you like shark movies, it's enjoyable, so you can just go,
maybe watch it once for the audacity, but my God, please, no, go watch The Last Shark, a much better Italian ripoff movie that is equally stupid, but way less inept.
Yes, I would agree with you on that one. This movie is clumsily made.
And it's clumsily made for a Bruno Mattei movie, and that's saying something.
Yes, it is. There are some worthwhile things about it. A fair number of the characters are engaging and interesting. Admittedly, none of the actors can actually act, but the characters are kind of fun for the most part. They definitely pull at your heartstrings in a lot of instances, and it's really sweet and syrupy, and you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this again.
I absolutely, okay, let's just jump onto the spoilers section because I absolutely want to get into one of the saccharine things that I fucking hate about this movie. So let's just, spoilers ahoy, and move on to the next bit.
Damn you all to hell!
The plot of the movie is, I mean, essentially, actually it's more ripping off Jaws 3 and the aquarium setting more than it's ripping off the original Jaws and the Amity Nantucket sort of setting. Where we open with this exposition dump of these 2 or 3 divers who are talking about, oh, there's a sunken treasure ship down here that we're underneath, and that's underneath us, and we're going to go get the treasure and find the Navy secrets or some bullshit like that.
They're gonna salvage this Navy ship that got wrecked, which apparently had some interesting secret stuff on it.
The secret stuff is Super Shark.
Yeah. How these guys found out about this, I have no idea. These 3 guys look and act like complete idiots. I mean, for one thing, the really obvious problem they're doing, they're going down in a night dive with inadequate lighting.
If you're trying to keep your clandestine pillaging operation on the down low, okay, you're not going to have a lot of lights, and you're going to do it at night. And, okay, let's get into this right away. How can you tell it's night? Because there's so much day for night shooting in the thing that the whole movie is more or less shot day for night, or just through this blue filter. So it could have been day for all I fucking whatever. I hate this movie.
Okay, having the ship or boat on top with their lights dimmed when you're doing something sneaky, that makes perfect sense. I'm totally behind that. But when you put your divers down in the water on a night dive, you better have light on you, because otherwise, even if nothing dangerous shows up to try to eat you, you still are going to run into reefs and rocks and the ship you're diving towards, etc. and so forth, because you can't see shit in dark seawater.
And this is, of course, our first instance of footage stolen directly from The Last Shark, because this is the sequence where Vic Morrow and James Franciscus are scuba diving into a cave, and the shark swims up and starts bumping the cave, causing a cave in, and then they have to take some explosives that Vic Morrow had, put it on the cave, blow it up, and get away and escape to freedom. This time, however, there's some sort of like arrow-tipped missile or some shit that the guy has, I think. I don't fucking know.
It wasn't lit well enough for me to make out what it was. I'm going to guess it was a spear gun, because we see the guy prepping a spear gun earlier in the sequence, but the lighting is so horrible in this particular shot. I'm not sure if it was the spear gun. It could have been a sausage shot out of a tube for all I know.
So a projectile of some indeterminate origin that may or may not have been a sausage flies out of the thing that launches it, which may or may not have been a sausage launcher, we don't know. It explodes up against the rock wall, and they say, oh good, we can swim out, and they swim out to safety, and then the shark eats them. And this is the bit where you can tell that Bruno Mattei has no fucking clue what he's doing, because the attack is so, I don't even have words for the hodgepodge. He took the shark attack footage, threw it up into the air, where it landed on the cutting room floor is how he assembled it.
For one thing, it's difficult to make out exactly what's going on. And second of all, the guys are hiding near the cave entrance that's being collapsed by the shark for the longest time, running their air down, having one of their air hoses get disconnected, reconnecting the air hose, swimming out the other exit, which they knew was there all along, and then getting grabbed by the shark. I mean, why didn't you go to the other entrance when the shark was busy collapsing the first one? I mean, and then, of course, there's the whole principle of the shark actually having the brains to deliberately collapse the entrance.
Yeah, but it's a mad science, military, super secret project, so we'll give the shark superpowers. What the fuck? Superpowers on a shark makes no more or no less sense than the rest of this goddamn movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so we then cut away from the people being eaten to, we meet our, there's not really a Chief Brody in this movie.
No.
We do kind of meet a sort of a Matt Hooper sort of guy, where he is this a fish expert coming into town. He's going to go meet his dad, and his dad, a Hulk Hogan lookalike, runs this aquarium.
There's also a girlfriend in town that he's meeting up with, too.
And so the girlfriend and the not Matt Hooper and not Hulk Hogan, they have this aquarium, but it's kind of falling behind in its rent, and it's kind of shabby and run down. So it's not SeaWorld, but it's kind of a SeaWorld knockoff. And that's where we get the evil rich dude. Mm-hmm. Now, the evil rich dude wants to put a hotel on Hulk Hogan's aquarium spot. And so he sends the sheriff over to say, hey man, I got to serve an eviction notice. You're 3 months behind on your rent. Boom. And of course, Hulk Hogan doesn't take this very kindly.
Also, there's a couple other members of the family. The Hulk Hogan guy has another son, also grown up, and a younger daughter who's in a wheelchair. The little girl is really cute, and your heart just goes out to her because she's actually one of the more engaging characters in this movie. But they just wrench at your heartstrings with her so many times because they used her really poorly in this film.
And that right there is the saccharine thing that I fucking hate in this movie, because it's so ineptly handled. There's this one scene at the very end of the movie where the shark is attacking everybody on the dock, and there's like a regatta and everything going on. And so this is the big climax of the movie. And the little girl is in her wheelchair, and she's freaking out, and somebody shoves the wheelchair, and she rolls down the dock, hits a cleat, goes into the water, and it could have been this moment, this scene like Garbage Day from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. It could have been this absolute meme-worthy, oh my god, this is fucking brilliant, but it was so ineptly handled that it's no fun, even though it's stupid as fuck.
There was this wonderful little side theme that was going on with the little girl and her Hulk Hogan dad, where she was afraid of sharks, but kind of had a little bit of respect for him, but because she was fairly courageous and plucky, she was like, well, if that shark swam up to me, I'd punch him in the nose. And there's a bit later on where when she's saying goodbye to her dad, when he's going out on the boat, she says, if you see that shark, punch him in the nose for me. And you know what? That scene would have been repaired a lot better if the little girl had fought off the shark and punched him in the nose and gotten herself to safety. That would have been cool.
That would require Bruno Mattei to have a functioning shark in the movie. Now, this is just allegedly something I read on IMDb, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently they did have a working model shark, a giant Bruce that they wanted to use in the movie. But the problem is, it kept breaking down because, giant shark in the water, so the Spielberg problem. But unlike Spielberg, who had money to fix his shark, they had no money to fix their shark. So all of a sudden they've got this giant paperweight that they can't use. So my hat is off to Bruno Mattei for making a Jaws movie without a single frame of shark in it.
The times where we do see the shark model, it looks incredibly bad.
In The Last Shark, there's this one scene where Vic Morrow and James Franciscus are on this raft, and Vic Morrow gets eaten and he's hanging half out the shark, and the shark would occasionally bob up out of the water. And Francisca says, "Aha! I know how to kill the shark," and blows up the dynamite belt on the shark. Now, they use that scene of the shark bobbing up and down out of the water. They use that twice in 2 different parts of the movie. I'm like, Bruno Mattei, what are you thinking?
Going back to the stock footage, sometimes it's a tiger shark. Tiger sharks are also moderately easy to identify. They have stripes down the sides.
Brad, how many Italian movies have you seen up to this point in the project?
A lot.
And how many times have you seen the director of those movies say to the intern assistant, "Here is some money, go buy me some stock footage to fit into this scene"?
This happens all the freaking time.
And how many times have you seen this poor production insert go to Filmicente or whatever studio library that they can find and just say, "It's got a shark in it," or "It's got a killer in it," or "It's got a football from America in it. Let's use that footage"?
This happens all the time.
So why are you expecting? Yes.
But here's the thing. Great white sharks are notorious. They have a lot of press. Everybody in the world who has seen Jaws knows what a great white shark is.
Except for the poor, harried production assistant who grabs the first film reel on the goddamn shark shelf.
But even if you're going to use all these reels of a great white shark, which is in 90% of the stock footage and is the model, why are you going to call it a different species of shark?
Because Bruno Mattei has 0 fucks to give. He has one mission in life: get my movie done for cheap and on time. That's it.
We have looked at movies where the production assistant has had to insert stock footage of jungle animals and have done jungles that are set in South America, and they have, for whatever inexplicable reason, have put elephants in the footage, when anybody who knows anything at all knows that elephants are not found in South America.
You'll have to forgive him. He's a little bit of a animal nerd. He gets worked up.
Granted, tiger sharks eat people, but the model and all of the footage were the wrong shark almost all of the time.
And so we've got Hulk Hogan's aquarium who's being targeted by the rich bastard. We've got the crippled guy, the crippled girl, my bad, in the wheelchair. And then we have Mayor Vaughn and his offspring, his children. You know, they're teenagers, late 20s-ish sort of age. And these guys are absolute dicks. They're like, "Hey, you know, we don't like Hulk Hogan's aquarium, and Dad needs him out of there. Let's go poison his dolphins," because they have like a dolphin show. The only thing they have in the aquarium, apparently. They poison the poor old dolphins. Not Hooper finds them and manages to save them just in time. So much goddamn padding. Just get to the, please, if you're going to steal footage and plot points from other movies, steal the action bits. Steal the shark eating people bits. Not this boring bullshit.
The marine biologist was a complete moron when it comes to actually doing any of the marine biology stuff that he was doing.
All he was doing was parroting lines from Jaws. I'm shocked that they didn't have all it does is swim, eat, and make baby sharks line in there. But they have all the other lines. This was no boating accident. You know, stuff like that.
I could have done a better job than this marine biologist, and I'm not actually in that profession.
None of the characters in this movie are fleshed out to any sort of degree beyond, I'm Hulk Hogan, I'm Brody, I'm Hooper, I'm whatever. You know, I'm Mayor Vaughn. None of this is any sort of connective tissue to the characters.
Nobody actually is all that believable. The one with the best performance was the little girl, and I think she only had the best performance because they expected her to be a kid.
The one thing that confuses me about this movie is that, okay, we have been calling him Hulk Hogan for the entire review. But the thing is, this isn't necessarily inaccurate because the dude in his not shark movie career is an actual Hulk Hogan impersonator. He's done stunt work and body double work for the Hulkster in a couple of movies that were shot down in Florida. He does when there's an opening of a mall and they can't actually afford the Hulkster, they hire him, and he comes in and does the mall opening. So he does Hulk Hogan impersonation. Why then do you have this alleged action star in your movie and not utilize him as an action hero? He does nothing other than sit on the sidelines while the not Hooper goes and deals with the shark problem.
Another thing about the ending where they're getting rid of the shark, they blow up the ship and blow up the shark with it, and this is all well and good, except for the fact that they are directly over the shipwreck when they blow it up. Now, I know Bruno Mattei doesn't give a flying anything about physics, but generally speaking...
Ripple in the water, maybe?
When you blow up something that is directly below you, only about 50 feet down, there's going to be more of an impact on the ship you're in when that explosion happens.
That would require a budget and special effects, and neither of which this movie has. So that's not going to happen. Actually, we probably ought to talk about the gore in this movie, which is completely non-existent. There are a little bits of gore here and there, but it's all footage, again, ripped off from another movie. The stuff that Bruno actually does is basically he takes a bucket of tempera red paint and throws it into the water. And that's about the only gore you get. Mm-hmm. So even for an Italian movie, which actually we complain about this with The Last Shark, Ian and I, where, why don't you set yourself apart from the rest of the pack and actually go gonzo like every other Italian movie? But here, fuck you, Bruno Mattei.
You could have had fountains of blood gushing out of the water and coming down like something you'd find in a plaza. Or you could have had scenes with the cloud of bloody water spreading out for hundreds of feet. No, they don't do any of that.
Even the diver that washed up on the shore was kind of a half-ass special effect. It looked like a sort of pseudo-mummy wrapped up in this latex burrito. It looked not good.
Now, mind you, a body that's been in the water for a day and has gotten nibbled on by other fish and has gotten a bit rotten isn't going to be a pleasant thing anyways, but this was a really bad effect.
And the thing is, even after they blow up the shark and they blow up the ship and you get your not ripple, the movie goes on for 10 goddamn minutes. Just wrap up the movie at that point. Just blow up the shark, roll credits. You're done. Why? There's no need for 10 more goddamn minutes. I feel time slowing down. It's
also, there's the mob guys that come down. Do we want to talk about the mob guys?
I don't even know how the hell they fit into the thing. It's some sort of good on you movie for actually giving the Mayor Vaughn some backstory and something to do beyond keep the beaches open.
Guys that show up from the mob and they want their hotel so they can make their money or launder their money or whatever they want the hotel for. And they're really putting pressure on the developer, the richest guy in the town, to do it. And he owes them money. There's one mob guy who's obviously the Don's representative. I don't think the Don himself would actually come on an errand like this.
Not for a shithole like this.
No, he'd send some errand boy for it. But the errand boy actually is a pretty imposing, scary guy in and of himself. And he's got two flunkies that go out, and they go out and they try to kill the shark.
Why are they sending the mobsters out to kill the shark? I don't know. This baffles me.
It baffled me too.
That's not in the job description. Run numbers? Sure. Shake down people for protection money? Sure. Burn down an establishment? Sure. Hunt killer sharks? Fuck you, mob. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. The one mob guy who stays on the boat tells the other mob guy to be careful. Okay, that's fine. The other guy says, I'll be fine. I was in the Marines. What does that have to do with hunting sharks?
Obviously, that's the qualification to get you into the mob. What the fuck, Bruno Mattei? Whatever, man.
It's only good if you like horror movies that are totally out in left field. I mean, this isn't a good movie. It's fun in a weird sort of train wreck way where you're just going, I can't believe they did that again.
All right, Brad, you got any final thoughts for Great White? No, not Great White. What the fuck movie are we even talking about? I don't even fucking remember now.
Jaws 5.
Jaws 5.
And there's a lot of other Jaws movies that are just as stupid. A great example is Megalodon 3. Terrible movie. But it's fun.
The only reason that movie is fun and interesting is because John Barrowman had to endure 6 months of back surgery after the movie was done shooting because he lifted that entire fucking thing himself. Without him, that movie is nothing.
You know, I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
Okay, I'll grant you that. John Barrowman is definitely the number one reason to watch that movie, but it's still a fun movie in and of itself.
Jaws 5 just didn't have the budget to give itself a sense of fun. It had enough budget to do A, B, C, and that's it.
I think that a different director might have been better.
Jess Franco's Jaws 5. Live in terror.
Maybe not just Franco.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Video Ferox as we put Jaws 5 on the shelf. Next week, we're going to be watching another Bruno Mattei movie where he rips off Rambo 2, amongst other many, many movies. So join us here for Strike Commando. Drop us an email, thevideonastyproject@gmail.com, and until next week, until you tune in again, be sure to stay evil.
Do something, Tommy! Help them! Save them!
Think I'm crazy?